Are you a Rec Room user struggling to beat your first quest? Maybe you've been struggling with a certain act or just don't know where to start soloing. Whatever it is, my name is Gold, and I'm here to give you a complete guide to soloing Quest for the Golden Trophy. This video has timestamps and bookmarks for your ease of viewing, and so you can get right to where you need to be. There will be a complete unedited run of Golden Trophy at the end of this video so you can see how I get through it on my own. And as always, if you find this helpful, make sure to like and subscribe. Golden Trophy has 3 different weapons: the sword, the bow, and the one-handed crossbow, plus the shield. The loadout I like to run begins with the sword and shield combo, but a bow is viable as well. I don't recommend the bow unless you're already highly skilled with it, because you can get caught up in hordes of enemies fairly easy. If you use a bow, it's also worth keeping a sword in your back holster for close range protection. A ranged weapon is practically required, so we'll be adding the crossbow to our sword and shield loadout in the future. The first act opens us up to a hallway of goblins, easy enough to defeat. Your shield will stun the enemies if you hit them with it, causing them to fall over and render them unable to attack. The time it takes them to get up resets with every hit. This is a pretty simple level, so if you're struggling, I'd wait for each wave to come to you before advancing. Your shield, though not always, blocks their swords and provides nice defense against these small guys. When you finish a wave, the lights where enemies have come from will light up. Act 2 opens us up to a new enemy, the Imp. They fly around and shoot fireballs out of the cannon they hold. They can be tricky to get around and dodging may be difficult, which is why we brought a shield. After the first 2 imps, take a right to find the crossbow, which we'll put on our back holster and switch with our sword whenever we need range. Here's a tip for using the crossbow. The further you pull it back, the more damage it does. But did you know that since it still does damage, it'll stun enemies either way? This is very useful for those flying imps who can't shoot while they're falling or stunned. It's a nice way of reducing how many shots are getting thrown your way while in a fight. After clearing out the first room, imps will spawn on the ramp forward. When those are cleared, your first decent challenge comes up. The next room will start to fill with enemies, so I recommend staying around the entrance or backing off onto the ramp. Watch your 6 because more fire shooting imps will spawn on the ramp in the same place as the ones before them. When you're done with the horde, the next area has a cement ball that's supposed to be rolled down. It one-shots enemy, but is only really useful for the first group. Standing at the top of the ramp will give you a range advantage, so pull out your crossbow and use it. After the first wave on the second staircase, imps will spawn behind you. This is something you might not realize. From there, hack and slash your way down to Act 4. This level is a little difficult due to the limited space and lava below, though lava can be used to your advantage, and is a big reason I use the crossbow sword combo over a bow. After the first wave of goblins, more will come in and imps will spawn above the lava where you can't swing at them. Once they start to appear, they'll keep coming for the next 3 rounds. I'd recommend getting rid of the imps immediately, as they instantly die once they touch the lava. We're going to meet a new enemy soon, the barrel goblin. They attack by standing still once you're in their path, slamming their war axe down and rushing forward. They can get a little tricky to dodge, especially with the map's confinement. To help us for now, we'll run across the bridge on the side with all the bows and go all the way to the end before the 4th wave starts. I'd actually recommend camping there for most of the waves, as it provides a lot of cover from the imps. We can stand behind the barrel goblin when it spawns and attack its weak point before it can attack us. Watch what I do here as an example. Another one spawns from the entrance during this wave, which you want to go and take care of. You can stand so close to this enemy that the weapon's hitbox doesn't hit you, though this is a risky tactic, even though it lets you reach your arm around and hit it right from the front. If this is too difficult, the intended way of killing them is to wait for the axe to swing down and just step out of the way. After the goblin's axe is down, the only path it can take while it's charging is forward. Your other option is displacing the enemy and pushing it into the lava with the edge of your shield, but I really wouldn't recommend that. After those 2, there's one more wave with another goblin barrel coming from the entrance, so just take it out. Great, you're halfway there. This fork in the road used to matter, though not anymore. Back in my day, you only need to take the right path for the door at the end to open, but now you need to clear both sides. Okay, so I'm now here doing a second run. I've realized, no, you still don't have to do this. As long as you go through there, come through here, and kill all the enemies that are there and don't activate that room, You should be good to continue forth. We will encounter two new extremely dangerous enemy types here in the form of elites. The elite goblin is just a normal goblin, but it's larger, faster, and has lots more HP. Oh, and it doesn't get stunned by arrows. The elite imps are your main concern from here on out, as they have more health and shoot 5 fireballs at once, making it a lot easier to block than dodge. They are still stunned by arrows, however, so the crossbow should take you pretty far against them. A bow is extremely useful in this room if you know how to use it, otherwise, take out the goblins in front of you with a sword ASAP and stun the elite imps with your crossbow before killing them. If you took it left instead, the room will fill with normal goblins. Just be careful not to get overrun or snuck up on, because that's very possible in this room. After the two rooms merge into a hallway, you'll be greeted with a wave of elite imps and elite goblins. This can be pretty intimidating, but back up behind a corner and let the elite goblins come to you before you fight the imps. Make sure to take care of them swiftly and quickly so you don't get bombarded by them both. Stun the imps with the crossbow and look up the ramp in the intersection to take care of the sneaky goblins that spawn. 2 more elite imps will spawn, take care of them, move on, and continue. The library is another level that could be challenging depending on your skill level. The best advice I could give for this section is to stay away from where enemies are spawning, but kill them quickly. This could prove to be a little difficult as enemies come from every direction, but being safe is better than being sorry in this level. We're also introduced to the last enemy in Golden Trophy, the Elite Barrel Goblin. Once you're in range of their axe, it'll drop, just like the normal barrel goblins. They'll start to spin around like a Beyblade or fidget spinner. If you find yourself too close to avoid its attack, make sure to hug the enemy as much as you can to avoid death. This is extremely nerve-wracking and difficult, but maybe the only option you have. The good part is that hitting the enemy is really easy in this position, and landing a blow will make the attack stop. Perfect. Oh, that was a little scary. I like to clear every other enemy, then hit the elite goblin barrels to make them stop attacking, turn around, ready to be hit again, rinse and repeat until it's out of the picture. As long as you take care of the enemies quick, you should be fine. Just be cautious as the majority are elites. Up here is a complete danger zone. I would not recommend going up here. Act 7 is a lot easier if you're using a bow, but if you're still sticking with the loadout I recommended, shoot the first imp just to stun them and make your way through the first doorway after slaying the small goblins that come down. Enemies may spawn behind you because you entered a little early, so use the space as a little arena. Also, make sure not to get caught up in the corner. I mentioned it here in the video. Yeah, try not to get caught up in this corner. That's scary. Moving on, 3 imps will spawn in front of you and 3 goblins will spawn behind you. Take out the range quickly so they don't shoot while you're trying to kill the goblins. There's about 2 waves of this. Next are these sketchy little caverns where a goblin will spawn behind you almost right as you enter. A barrel goblin will be lurking as well and will be extremely hard to avoid. Either sprint into the hallway or shoot him so he follows you into the open. After leaving the tunnel, you'll be met with a large group of elites that will consistently spawn, as well as enemies coming to ambush you from behind. Take them out, and you're on to the last level before we fight the Goblin King. I find Act 8 to be more fun than it is difficult, though it still can be a challenge if you don't know what you're doing. Treat the environment as a large arena. I like to kill the imps and elite imps firsthand so they don't snipe you from across the map. Movement is also key in this area because of how much versatility you have compared to the enemy. Waves of every enemy type will bombard you, and I find the elite imps to be the worst of the evils in this level. Welcome to the finale. In front of you is the Goblin King. He has 2 main attacks. One's with his axe and the other's with the cannon he's holding. The latter is the more dangerous attack, and is what makes this boss difficult in the first place. If you get too close, he'll swing his axe down to strike you. His cannon, on the other hand, shoots 3 large fireballs at you that are practically impossible to avoid. He will only attack you if he sees you, so make sure to grab some cover as a means to survive. There are 3 waves of enemies that will come and attack you during this battle, though not many spawn on the balcony, so we'll be heading there. You cannot damage the Goblin King with your sword, so make sure all of your crossbow shots are fully charged when you attack him. Clearing out the waves of enemies before going back to fight the Goblin King is your best bet. Try and keep the position behind the Goblin King, around the staircase that I lingered near in the video. This way, the Goblin King isn't really an issue. The enemies that come after you aren't too difficult to kill, just make sure you aren't in the line of the sight of the Goblin King, otherwise he'll shoot his fireballs at you. During this run, I didn't stay behind the Goblin King and decided to go after the elite imps that spawn on this balcony during the final wave. Don't do this. As you can see, I died because my back was wide open. My advice to help kill them is to get rid of the enemies on the staircase like you have previously, then use your crossbow to kill the imps from afar. After that, you should be able to take down the Goblin King and reclaim Coach's Golden Trophy. Congratulations on completing your first quest. If you're struggling or having a hard time, remember that quest is meant for a whole party of players. Just keep giving it a try with breaks in between, and eventually the practice will catch up. Thank you for watching, and remember, give it your Rec Room best. Whoa, I know I said I'd have a full playthrough of Golden Trophy at the end, but this video is already a little bit long, and I don't really want to just tack on an extra 20 minutes. With that being said, if this video does well enough, I'll probably just throw it up on my YouTube so you guys can see. Even if it doesn't do that well, I'll still probably just throw it up for you guys to look at. Again, thank you so much for getting... Shut up, coach. Again, thank you so much for watching this video all the way until the end. It really does mean a lot, and if it was helpful to you, make sure to share it so it can be helpful to other people as well. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like who I am, my channel, and I'm going to start making more content like this. So if it's in your best interest, make sure to hit that bell so you get notified every single time I make a video. Thank you again. Give it your Rec Room best.